What's going on YouTube? This is your girl Sheeta Barber coming back at you with another video. And on this client today, I'm going to be doing a drop fade. And the method I'm going to be using is the no guideline method. This is my client, Jalen. Very nice client, very good client. I love this client. He has the best energy when he comes in, regardless of what his day is like. He's always smiling and always laughing. So right now, I'm knocking my client down with a one guard open on top. And as I move towards the sides and down the sides, I close my guard little by little. The further I go down, the more I close my lever to blend those sides down, because they're gonna be faded anyways. And I might as well go ahead and start while I'm knocking his top down and evening him up all the way around the sides. So this client does have waves, and I have to go with the wave pattern in order not to, I guess, set like a gash or a patch in his head. So I always go with the waves, not across the waves, and definitely not against the waves when you're knocking your client down to the length that they want. So since I was closing my guards on the side, as I move down, I'm starting with my one guard open, and I'm moving from one side to the back, from the other side to the back, meeting those. Now, when doing this particular, I guess, method, got lost, you guys. When doing this particular method, I use reference points. So, for an example, if I want my haircut to look even on both sides, I have to use reference points in order to execute it. So, for an example, I may use my one guard from the top of the vertical bar, meaning where the side line or side of the hairline meets with the top of the horizontal hairline. So, at the top of the vertical bar to halfway down in the middle of the vertical bar, I may use my one guard, opening and closing it in between that section. And then I will go to my 0.5, which may be some of you guys, zero guard. I may go to my 0.5 and use that from the middle of the vertical bar down to the bottom of the vertical bar right before the C cup. Then after that, I will use my clipper with no guard from the top of the vertical bar to the middle of the C cup. Now, reference points are going to change depending on the type of haircut you're doing, meaning a high fade, low fade, mid fade, drop fade. And you can also use this method on tapers also. So you have to know what reference points you want to use and what guards you're going to use in that section of the reference points. If you know this, you cannot go wrong with using this specific method of a no guideline fade or no guideline tape. So my order of guards when I'm cutting is one guard, half guard, 0.5, or 0, depending on what you're using, what clipper you're using, brand, and also no guard open. And this is while I'm moving down in the fade or down in the taper. So remember, the higher you start up, your lever should be open. As you move down, you should start closing your lever down. Once you start a new guideline, you use that same method again, open to close, open to close. So now I don't have on a guard, and I'm really just going ahead and blending all that out at the bottom until he's completely bald, and knocking everything out with my clippers. Now he has a fold in the back, and I clear everything out under that. And as I move up, that's where my blend begins. I never start my blend inside of his fold or any client's fold. So we are about to finish the other side with the no guard. blending, and I was looking at the client's head. He normally just deals with dandruff, but this particular time and the first time he came in with dry scalp, so we had to discuss what type of products he been using and what he changed over to. So again, I started my clipper open where I ended with my 0.5 closed to blend that area in and just blend it on down. As I move down, I close the clipper down. And when I turn my clipper to the side, I'm slicing. The reason why I slice is because I may not want to put another guard back on, and it actually saves time because the cutting blade is not close to the head as it would be if the clipper were flat on the head. So I was slicing in that 0.5 area because it'll save me time versus turning around, putting on the guard, and then I have to take that guard right back off anyways. So now I'm doing his lineup. And when I started doing the lineup, I did the liner over comb just to knock down the hair that was uneven because his waves creates dark and light spots in the front of his head. So that's why I use that technique. And this client does not get enhancements. So I want the front line to look as even as possible. And the shorter the hair is at the front of the line, the crispier the lineup looks. And I don't have to use, shaving cream or hot towel. I kind of eliminate that step when I do the clipper over comb or liner over comb at the front of the hairline. And look, he feeling himself. He already popping his neck. But anyways, so yeah. If you want to eliminate certain steps, which will cause you to walk away from your station or do extra things when it comes to the hairline, just do clipper over comb or use your liners over your comb just to kind of taper the front of their hairline and make it look as even as possible. Now, regardless if the client is getting enhancements or not, you want the front of the hairline to look even as possible anyways, because you don't want to have to overspray in certain areas because it's lighter than another area or lighter than one side of the hairline. You want it to look as even as possible anyways, because once that black spray is gone, that's when the true artistry of your work is shown. So again, just make sure you knock everything down as even as possible and give the client, just get a client what they pay for. Remember, you set your prices as a barber. So you should do a good job at all times, regardless of what the client is paying. Because this is your work that you're pushing out. Once that client gets up out of your chair, that's marketing. That's a walking billboard. Either someone is going to look at your client and want to come sit in your chair, or they're going to look at your client and tell them you need to find another barber. So right now, I'm basically just giving this client a shave. He came in for full grooming, and a full grooming is basically a shampoo, haircut, shave, and a mini facial. So he doesn't leave any hair on his face at all. So basically I'm just clearing everything out, and I'm going certain ways with my liner on his face just to make sure it's completely smooth, because the texture of his hair on his face is totally different from the texture that's on his head, and it's actually more thick and more coarse on his face. So we're clearing out that the small little stubbles, and you don't want to use this too much, and you don't want to use it too long in one area, because with African Americans, their hair can not the hair, but it can irritate the skin and cause bumps. So be careful when you're using the close shaver and who you use the close shavers on also. So I'm basically just doing some smaller details and gonna make sure I knock off those loose strings on the top of his head where his waves is. I guess I can't find a proper phrase right now, but so it don't look like static. Want to be able to see the waves and that they look real smooth. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to be prepping this client for his mini facial, which is actually a cleanser with the steamer, a hot towel, and massage with the vibrating hand massagers, and also a face serum to lock in the moisturizer that I'm going to put on after the face serum. So I'm going to be quiet and let you guys just watch this little mini facial, and I'll be back. So you guys, that's basically the mini facial. This client came in, enjoyed his session. We enjoyed him as usual. It's always good conversation. So if you don't mind, tell me what you guys think about this haircut, what you think about the method, and do you think you will want to try this method? As you can see, I'm actually relining him up. Not relining him, but I'm getting off those loose hairs that were relaxed by the hot towel and started to hang over his hairline. Of course, they're going to draw back once it dries, but since they're hanging over his hairline right now, I just want to go ahead and get rid of them so his haircut can look smooth when he walks out. This is a haircut. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and you guys be blessed.